So Cursor just dropped Composer 2, and at first it looked insanely impressive. People were saying it beat Claude Opus 4.6 on coding benchmarks. It's like 1/10 the cost, and the whole thing just felt polished, but then things got weird. Someone started digging into the API and noticed something interesting that was going on. The actual model ID being called was Kimi K 2.5. Yeah, so not Cursor, not fully in-house. They were using Kimi under the hood. And if you don't know, Kimi is built by Moonshot AI, and it's actually a pretty good open source model. And pretty quickly, people started putting things together. That Composer 2 was basically just Kimi with some additional changes on top to make it their own. And then more information came out. Cursor's co founder responded and said, yeah, they did start with Kimi, and about 25% of the pre training compute comes from that base, but the rest was from their own fine tuning and training. So technically, it's not just Kimi, but it's also not fully from scratch either. And that's where the controversy really kicks in. The issue isn't that they used Kimi, it's pretty normal, and if anything, this just goes to show the power of the open source community. There's a lot of companies building on top of these models, but the real issue is that they didn't say this up front. People only found out about this because someone in the community went ahead and checked the API. Like, I think it probably took 25 seconds for them to figure this out. And now the narrative is, did they intentionally not mention this, or was just this some oversight? Even Cursor admitted it was a miss not to mention Kimi from the start, and they're not denying it, but they're also not being that transparent either. Meanwhile, Kimi's team actually congratulated Cursor publicly and confirmed that there's a commercial partnership they have through Fireworks AI. So this isn't some type of hacky usage. It is legit. Cursor was able to do this, but still, brand and perception matter. When you launch a model that's cheap and doing well and looks like a breakthrough, people are going to think you're doing something new when in reality you're not. And to be fair to the Cursor team, this is still a really great model. Composer 2 is awesome. A fan of the Composer series in general. But in AI right now, it's important to be transparent, especially when you're a $30 billion company. And there's a lot of companies right now in the AI space that are under scrutiny. Cursor didn't do anything really wrong here necessarily, but they didn't really tell us the story in full. It feels a little shady, and the internet noticed. In other news, things are starting to get pretty strange over at OpenAI as they recently announced that they were nearly doubling their workforce from 4,500 employees to 8,000 by the end of 2026. And they're adding people across all of their departments: engineering, research, product sales, pretty much everywhere. And here's where things start to get weird. Just weeks ago, Sam Altman himself had said that they were going to dramatically slow down hiring in the future and do more with fewer people. That was his message. He said basically AI makes companies more efficient. We need fewer humans. But now they're adding thousands of people, so things don't add up. Was Sam lying, or is he just having a realization that where he expected AI to be is not where it's at today? Now, when you look at the reporting more closely, this hiring surge they say is happening because the competition is starting to get real with Anthropic and Google. They're having a lot of demand for enterprises for the AI, and they're just generally trying to scale their business, not just the research aspect of OpenAI. But that actually makes the contradiction here more obvious, because if AI was really replacing work, why does the company building the most advanced AI need to scale its workforce this aggressively? This isn't a company that's getting smaller. This is a company in hypergrowth mode, and it suggests that something isn't right here. AI is not replacing jobs, at least the way people think it is. Because if it was, OpenAI would be shrinking, not doubling.